Hare Krishna. Question from Keshav Nimai Prabhu. Prabhupada says in the Raj Vidya, in the example of iron and fire, that just as iron by contact with fire becomes spiritualized, becomes fiery, similarly by the practice of bhakti, our material body will become spiritualized and will not be affected by material contamination. So how does the material body become spiritualized? Answer, it is here spiritualization is more in terms of intent, not in terms of content. That means that it is not that the body which is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether will become Satchitananda. Just as it is not that the iron gets transformed literally into fire. The iron, when it comes in contact with fire, it assumes some of the qualities of fire. That means it becomes fiery hot. So similarly, the more we engage in devotional service, the more we become purified, and the more we choose to act purely. And we start using our body, our mind, our senses, our everything in Krishna's service. And the more we do this, the more our habit to act in this way continues and more. So when Prabhupada says that our body becomes spiritualized, that means it loses its materialistic tendencies. So whatever we make as a habit, that's what we get prompted to do again and again. So if we develop a habit of serving Krishna, of engaging in devotional activities, of filling our life with devotional activities, then non-devotional, anti-devotional activities will get dropped away and they will not come to us. And that way the body becomes spiritualized in the sense that it becomes used for spiritual purposes only, and it is not used for material purposes. And the tendency to get attracted to the sense objects and to drag us towards sense objects, that becomes lesser and lesser. And that's what Prabhupada says immediately after saying that the material body becomes spiritualized. After that he says that we develop that we are no longer affected by material contaminations. So contaminations here refers not to old age, disease, and death. They are not contaminations, they are problems. Contaminations are lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, and illusion. So these contaminations affect us less and less because we become elevated by the practice of bhakti. And we become elevated, we become purified, and just as the earth has a gravity pull up to a particular level in the atmosphere, beyond that the gravity pull doesn't act. Similarly, by the practice of bhakti, the devotee's consciousness becomes elevated more and more, and then the gravity pull becomes lesser and lesser, and the gravity pull of sensual desires, of the desires coming from the contamination, becomes less and less. And that's how in intent the material body also becomes spiritualized. And that's why for the bodies of great devotees, they are not cremated, but because they become spiritualized, they are considered sacred, and that's why they are offered, their samadhi is done. So the body becoming spiritualized is an intent in being used in Krishna's service. And this is talked about also in the Ihayasya Hare Dasya Karmana Manasagira Nikhilasya Pavastasu Jivan Mukta sa Uchyate. So Jivan Mukti means that although the person is Jivit, is in this world, but because that person is fully engaged in the Lord's service, Ihayasya Hare Dasya, Iha, in this world that person is there, but is absorbed in Hare, the service of Lord Hari, with all of one's faculties, Karmana Manasagira. Nikhilasya Pyavastasu. So even if situated in this world, the person is liberated. Jivan Mukta sa Uchyate. So the spiritualization of the body refers to being in the body, but no longer being in material existence in the sense of being in material consciousness. So that is Jivan Mukti. That is Jivan Mukti, being liberated while in the body. And when we live in this way, eventually we will get Videha Mukti. That is, we will get liberated beyond the body and attain our spiritual position in the kingdom of God. Thank you. Hare Krishna.